Good evening. Welcome to the Kennedy Center and the Millennium Stage, our free nightly performance series brought to you by Target. We're here 365 days a year at 6 o'clock every single night, bringing you the best in music, theater, dance, and more. If you're ever unable to join us in person, you can find us online at www.kennedy-center.org, where we broadcast each night's performance live, as well as make live performance or past performances available on demand in our broadcast archive. All right, now please join me in welcoming Colleen McDonough, the director of the ASCAP Foundation.
Good evening. As he said, I'm Colleen McDonough, director of the ASCAP Foundation, which is a public charity which supports music education and nurtures emerging songwriters and composers. So welcome to Songwriters, the Next Generation. It's a program of the ASCAP Foundation and the John F. Kennedy Center, which tonight and tomorrow evening will showcase the talent of ASCAP writers, performers, performing their own songs from the worlds of rock, soul, jazz, and folk music right here in this beautiful Millennium Stage. Songwriters, the Next Generation was conceived by the late Dr. Billy Taylor, the great pianist, educator, and composer. He was also a member of the ASCAP Foundation Board of Directors and the artistic director for jazz for the Kennedy Center. Dr. Taylor stressed the importance of showcasing the talents of contemporary composers and performers. And that's what we're going to do tonight. With us to introduce our music creator artists and to engage them in a discussion about what is behind their music is an ASCAP singer-songwriter who hosts NPR's public radio concert program, Mountain Stage. He's also a prolific children's music recording artist, and in the 70s enjoyed a top 10 hit with his witty novelty song, Junk Food Junkie. Please welcome Larry Gross.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Colleen, and hello. Welcome, everybody, to the Millennium Stage. Great to be here. I've never been in this building before, so it's a thrill for me to be here, and I'm happy that the ASCAP Foundation decided to invite me to be the host this evening. You're going to hear two fine singers and fine songwriters tonight, and Dr. Taylor was concerned because he saw everybody getting excited about American Idol and America's Got Talent and so forth, which showcases people who are great performers, but he also wanted to showcase folks who were good singers. And we have two of those tonight. They were chosen both because they're fine songwriters and because they can perform. First of all, we have a native New Yorker born down in the East Village and grew up down there. And she plays regularly in New York City all the time, but it's about time that she's going to make the whole country her stage and her neighborhood. You will find she has a very powerful voice. That'll be obvious very quickly to you. Some have called it sultry. Some call her retro. I think that's because she appeals to a lot of different ages of people. But she's as modern and contemporary as she can be. She's brought her whole band with her, and she has a new album right now called My Green Heart. Please welcome with me, if you will, Julia Haltigan.
Hello. Well, I don't have a pony taking me home. have a honey to call my own. Well, the days, they are short and few. And all I can think of is you, baby. All I can think of is you. Well, I left New York last Sunday. Yes, I left my only home. And you found me here on Monday, whistling this here song. Well, I don't know how long you've been listening. Could have been there all along. And all I can think of is you, baby. All I can think of is you. How long have I been going on like this? Is it fair for me to even ask? I wanna run away, but all I can think of is you, baby. All I can think of is you. Well, outside I'm dancing, inside I'm bent. I'm missing all your romancing, yeah. I missed it since the days that we spent. But honey, you up and you left me, boy. You left me with my fantasy. And now all I can think of is you, baby. All I can think of is you. How long must I cross my fingers to see you again, again? Though your scent still lingers, it'll fade away and then, oh boy, all I will think of is you, baby. All I will think of is you. Oh, all I will think of is you, baby, is you, baby. Well, it's you. Yes, it's you. Thank you guys so much. We're very excited to be here. I'm going to keep the talking a little bit. I'm not going to talk too much because We only have a few minutes here, and I usually only tell my embarrassing stories at rock shows. Run me down. I've a long way to go before I'm found. Now I've left town on a train, not knowing where I'm bound. My horse don't wanna go no more. His springs have all gone stiff, but I'm a different story. I got that traveling itch, and it's curiosity that motivates the cat. It's my rambling tongue that keeps me honest about what I've done. It will always be on my mind, my green heart, my green heart. Gun me down. There's a poison in the air which we breathe. Now it's the same old sound, but I know it couldn't be, because I'm free. All is still again, I see the windows up and die, but I'm a different story and I feel strangely alive, and the only thing moving is my green, green heart. It's my rambling tongue that keeps me honest about what I've done. It will always be on my mind, my green heart. Bones and spines of my green heart. It's my rambling tongue that keeps me honest about what I've done. Will always be on my mind, my green heart, and the only thing moving is my green, green heart. Thank you. So that's the title track off our latest release, My Green Heart. And here's another one off that same record. Have you all run away from me? Where have you gone? Where have you gone? Why must you leave so mysteriously. Is that how heroes go? Is that how heroes go? And though I sleep very still at night, my dreams are empty movie screens of fading light. Boom, 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 boom. So goodbye, cowboys and rocket men. I believed in you since I don't know when. It sure is sad to see you go. Boom, 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 boom. All these stories I've lived and I have told, well, they were not real. They were just how I feel. And though you held my hand through the worst, those monsters weren't real. They were just how I feel. And all the races we've won and we have lost, those were better days when we were young and nothing stood in the way. So goodbye, cowboys and rocket men. I believed in you since I don't know when. It sure is sad to see you go. Boom, 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 boom. And though we long to be together again, I just can't make believe anymore. Such a fool. It didn't used to be me. It didn't used to be me. As I have loved and I've cried from my heart, but you were not real. You were just how I feel. So goodbye, cowboys and rocket men. I've believed in you since I don't know when. It sure is sad to see you go. Boom, 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 boom.
Thank you guys so much. We have one more, and I just want to quickly introduce my band. We've got Joe Ankowitz on trumpet, Steve Williams on drums, Bennett Miller on the upright bass. It's one last tune.
He crossed his heart and hoped I'd die. Said he had a prayer with which I could lie. And as I watched him cross the room, I had it coming. I knew that we were ruined. I felt the fire burn me down. I felt the aching in my heart pound. I felt him leave me like a deep sigh. Ashes to
lives inside, burns me down, I cannot hide. I knew that I had fallen too soon. I let the birds convince me with their sweet tune. He removed all the meadow from my heart. Now it's weak and I have fallen apart. I felt the fire burn me down. I felt the aching in my palm. I felt him leave me like a deep sigh. Ashes to ashes we all fall down. That flame that lives inside burns me down. I cannot hide that guy. That guy is indestructible, undeniably the reason why I burn and I've been shot down, bang, 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 bang. And from a string of hope I hang. Then with a twinkle in his eye, he cuts me loose, I fall down, I die. I felt the fire burn me down. I felt the aching in my palm. I felt him leave me like a deep sigh. Ashes to ashes we all fall down. That flame that lives inside burns me down, I cannot hide. That flame that lives inside burns me down, I cannot hide. He's indestructible. Thank you guys so much.
Test, 1, 2. There we go. Yeah, Julia Haltigan is her name. Give her a hand. She attended the ASCAP Foundation's Paul Cunningham Songwriters Workshop. The new CD, and you heard the title song from that, is My Green Heart. By the way, both of these acts tonight have merchandise for sale, I believe, in the back. So if you want to go away carrying a little music with you, that'd be a good thing to do. Help them out, and you'd enjoy. It's going to sound like it does right up here. Julia Haltigan is her name. She grew up in New York, like I said, and her father is here today. He sometimes plays with her. Where are you out there? Where's Dad? Is he still out there? Did he go back? She wouldn't let him go on stage today, but he often plays guitar with her. It's nice. It's a family thing. And Bennett, the bass player, had his 2-year-old here earlier, so it was really, really a family thing. Well, next up is a young man who's originally from Atlanta. He went to school, studied music down in Florida, And then, like so many other folks, he gravitated to New York City. And there, one of the first things he did was become the music director of the Glad Tidings Tabernacle Church. Made some friends there, I'm sure. But then he made two other very important friends, Valerie Simpson and the late Nick Ashford, who saw him at their club called the Sugar Bar. And they liked him so much they invited him to work with them. They were working with Sir Cliff Richard and producing an album, Silicious. And they invited him to arrange some tunes for that CD, and he did that, and one of them was one of his own originals, so that was a big deal. He's also the recipient of the inaugural ASCAP Foundation Reach Out and Touch Award in honor of Nick Ashford of Ashford and Simpson. I'm sure you know that group. And he has a gospel recording out there called the Sacred EP. He's got a project that he's working on that's going to be out soon, a very interesting project. It's a book and a record. It's called Too Young to Die, How I Nearly Jumped Off a Bridge and the Songs That Saved My Life. And he also has an EP out there right now called Insomnia. He brought his whole band with him, or at least most of them, from down up in New York City. Please welcome Mr. Andre Henry.
Oh, the lady on my mind, I met her years ago. I loved her from the start, but didn't even know. I know she felt the same because she told me so without saying a word. The look in her eyes gave her away. I moved into a town, we hung out several times. Our talks throughout the night got deeper every time. But she became afraid, she left me high and dry. But everything we said, these keep on playing through my mind. And my love for her keeps me awake at night. Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, I'm not sleeping. No, I'm not sleeping. No, I'm not sleeping, and it's all because of you. No, I'm not sleeping. No, I'm not sleeping. No, I'm not sleeping, and it's all because of you. I'm not sleeping. No, I'm not sleeping. No, I'm not sleeping, and it's all because of you. I'm not, no, I'm not sleeping, and it's all because of. You know I have to tell you the story from the beginning. Now, I appreciate that you've been a very polite audience tonight, but you look like fun people. And this song right here is for all the good-looking people. So if you're good-looking, I need to hear you make a little bit of noise right now. All right, we got a few good-looking people in here. Put your hands like this, okay? It must be hard. It must be hard. It must be hard being so beautiful. It must be hard. It must be hard. It must be hard being so beautiful, being so beautiful. Another lukewarm winter's day, another day behind her desk. A slew of men will come her way, each one will bring invitations right and left. I know it stinks, she only got this 9 to 5 so that she could find another home. But now for hours every day, these illicit politics are being exercised on her. And it must be hard, it must be hard, it must be hard being so beautiful. It must be hard, it must be hard, It must be hard being so beautiful, being so beautiful. She was another girl, another time, running dolls across the bedroom floor. But Daddy's got it in his mind to play this game his daughter isn't ready for. She doesn't know what's going on, and if it's her fault, she isn't sure. But now she's hurting deep inside, 'cause Daddy's selfish motivations being exercised on her. And it must be hard, it must be hard, it must be hard being so beautiful. It must be hard, it must be hard, it must be hard being so beautiful, being so beautiful. Being so beautiful, oh yeah, yeah. I never really recognized, I never really had the sense that beauty had so high a price. Well, it's costing her her innocence. You see, life has only brought her pain, where hope is a hoax and love's a lie. She's disappointed with her life because she never got to be the queen she is inside. And I know it's hard, I know it's hard, I know it's hard being so beautiful. I know it's hard, I know it's hard, I know it's hard being so beautiful. And it must be hard, it must be hard. Oh, handling the way that comes with carrying your face. I know it's hard, I know it's hard, I know it's hard being so beautiful, being so beautiful. That feels nice, fellas. Y'all give it up for my band real quick. We have Justin Fisher on keys, Adam Jackson on drums, Buster Hempel on bass. When we get on the phone, don't worry about entertaining me. You'll always have my attention, 'cause hearing your voice is all I really need. Yeah. Oh, darling, darling, just be open and tell me about your day. Oh, darling, trust me, won't you tell me about your day? Now tell me what went wrong, tell me what went well. Don't skip a detail, don't leave one thing out. Yeah, and don't you worry about rambling on. I'm really interested in what you're talking about. Oh, darling, yeah. Oh, tell me about your day. Oh, darling, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, tell me about your day. I wanna know. You put your hands like this, yeah. I really wanna know, I really wanna know, I really wanna know. I really wanna know, I really wanna know, I really wanna know. Yeah, I really wanna know, I really wanna know. I really wanna know, I really wanna know, I really wanna know. Give me power. Thank you. I was so busy chasing her that when I found her, or when she said yes, I didn't know what to do with her. I was so used to her saying no that when she said yes, I got confused. So she gave me an ultimatum. She said, love me or leave me alone. In those days, I knew what I wanted from her. But that was then and this is now. 'Cause these days, I'm not so sure if the girl I fell for is the one I wanna be with now. But she's saying, love me or leave me alone. She's saying, love me or go away. She's saying, love me or leave me alone. She doesn't have the time to waste with me. Oh, she says she's waited her whole life for love. She believes that I'm the one. Well, girl, I don't know what the future holds, but I know that I'm not ready now. But she's saying, love me or leave me alone. She's saying, love me or go away. She's saying, love me, yeah. No, she doesn't have the time to waste with me. So she's saying, love me or leave me alone. She's saying, love me or go away. She's saying, love me or leave me alone. She doesn't have the time to waste with me. No, she doesn't have the time to waste with me. Oh no, she doesn't have the time to waste with me. No, she doesn't have the time to waste with me. So she's saying, love me. Love me or go away. The reason why she left without saying goodbye, her raspy little voice, the fear inside her eyes, the way she made me smile without having to try, the way she used to cry. These things keep playing through my mind. Ooh, the way we used to kiss, the contours of her face, the softness of her skin whenever we'd embrace, are waiting in my dreams, and I don't want to face them, don't want to see that my love has gone to waste, no. I'm not sure how many days this can continue. No, I'm not sleeping. No, I'm not sleeping. No, I'm not sleeping, and it's all because of you. No, I'm not sleeping. No, I'm not sleeping. No, I'm not sleeping, and it's all because of you, yeah. Thank you so much for your time. You've been a great audience.
Andre Henry, young man's name. Give him another hand. Now we're going to bring back Julie Haltigan, and we're going to bring back out Andre Henry, and I'm going to ask him a few questions here. Thank you so much. What great talent we have here this evening, and thank you if you're watching right now. It's streaming on the web, so there's more folks than just in here. You've heard what they sound like. Now we'll find out a little bit more about these two fine singers and songwriters. So y'all come on out. Come on back out. Don't leave me out here by myself. Here they come. Those should be working, so have a seat and we'll talk for a moment. We'll start with Julia. I mentioned that your dad was in the audience. He often plays with you, and I read that your aunts or great aunts or so, they had a group that were in the 40s, like the Andrews Sisters?
My dad's mother, actually my grandmother, was in a quartet called the Lyircs Sisters.
And they did that kind of harmony?
They did. They shared a vocal coach with the Andrews Sisters, so it was very similar.
Really? How do you think that affected you growing up, starting to write songs?
Well, my grandmother was always singing. When I went over for holidays, I think like words or phrases would set her off, and then she'd just break into song. So I had to keep up with her, and we would sometimes harmonize Christmas carols. And
so even when you were a little girl, you were singing.
I was loud even then, yes.
Yeah. Did you start writing early?
When I started writing probably around age 15, when I wanted to learn how to play guitar, and that was kind of how I taught myself the chords.
Yeah.
I would rather play them in song.
You probably know some people call your style retro, at least. I think that basically means it appeals to a wide age of people. Do you think of it that way, or is it just the way you started writing and that's the way it is?
I think I listen to a lot of older music. At least for starters, my dad and I listen to the Beatles all the time, and the oldies station.
Hey, that's retro.
Frankie
the Beatles,
Valli.
That's really retro. No, that's true. On Mountain Stage, that's even for people who are 23 years old, the Beatles is still probably 3 out of 4 of them say that's their biggest influence, which is pretty interesting. Because I ask them, where the heck you hear these? And usually it's my dad played it for me.
My dad.
His collection. Well, you grew up downtown in New York, where there's been a huge music scene. CBGB's, all big clubs down there. Did that affect you at all in the way that you think about? There was punk music, there was bluegrass music, everything down there.
Well, I grew up actually just down the block from CBGB's on Bond Street. And I suppose, I saw the rockers out there. I was like, you're kind of intimidating and cool looking. But my dad was in a bunch of bands too. He wouldn't admit it, but he's shy. But he was in a lot of rock bands, and so I was in, the 30th Street music building a lot. Yeah. It was cool. I wanted to be like them.
Who do people compare you to the most, do you think? Have you read reviews of your voice and your style?
Sometimes I would say Nancy Sinatra as far as like style and maybe sort of the James Bond thing. I get like Nora Jones sometimes with the voice.
Did you listen to any particular people? You said you listened to your whole dad's collection. Was there anybody that was like in the back of your mind, like, wow, I would like to sound like that someday?
Yeah, Tom Waits actually is. My dad and I would take long road trips upstate into Maine, and there was always a fight for the radio dial. I wanted to listen to Disney tunes, and he wanted to listen to Tom Waits. So he put up with the Disney tunes for as long as he could, and then, Waltzing Matilda came on, at which point I'd scream and plug my ears like, this is awful! How can you make me listen to this? And one day he put on, I think, Cold, Cold Ground came on, and I didn't want to admit that I really enjoyed it.
How old were you then?
I was probably 13 or 14.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And then it just, a light went off, and I was like, Tom Waits is the best, and I want to sound just like him.
Is Dad out there now?
Dad is selling merch.
I made 9 records for Walt Disney. It was probably me you were turning off, Dad. Probably hated it. Well, let's turn over to Andre here for a moment. You you say your music obviously has influences of pop, soul, but also gospel. And I can tell when you got up and got people going that you were used to doing that in front of a congregation. How much has that influenced your work of your secular?
It's very interesting the way that what I do at church and what I do in a club are very similar. And so I think that I've very much learned how to interact with people and to connect with people and to get them involved by leading worship at church, because that's exactly what you're doing, at least in my denomination. You know, you want to get people involved and connected.
So Saturday night and Sunday morning, not too much different from you.
No, they're not that much different.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, there's been a whole lot of folks that took that route to the big stage and did great with it. You could have, being a young African-American guy, you could have gone into rap. I'm sure you listened to that. Maybe I'm wrong. Did you listen to rap? If you
Yes,
didn't,
I did.
Where were you? But why did you decide to take a different thing? You probably could have gone that direction. You could have gone a lot of directions. Why deciding to do what you do?
Yeah, that is interesting. I appreciate hip-hop music and all of the styles that were contemporary when I was younger and are still contemporary today. But at a very young age, I latched onto this idea of love, of true love. And so the songs that really spoke to my soul, like that communicated something that I wanted to experience, were the songs of Stevie Wonder, of Earth, Wind, and Fire.
You can hear that.
Things. You know, so I loved hip-hop music. I loved moving to it, dancing to it, learning it with my friends. But there was something in a way that really spoke to me in a deep place. And so I wanted to make music like they did.
Yeah, I can hear that. And we hear some people like that come to Mountain Stage now. It's funny, Donny Hathaway, your influence, and Bill Withers, who's from West Virginia.
Oh,
yeah. Big influence on a lot of folks nowadays, and it's very interesting to see that. Well, obviously, you love to tell stories. I mean, here
Yes.
your songs are telling the whole story, and you're writing a book. First of all, talk about that book for a moment. How's that going to work with the book and record?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I am a storyteller at base. That's probably the biggest motivation for what I do. And so a couple of years ago, I went through a very serious time where I was suicidal at the lowest point. And someone encouraged me at that point to throw myself into something I was passionate about so that I would have something to look forward to every day. And I chose songwriting. And so I wrote songs, and that made me want to live. And so at the end, I had these 12 songs that I really believe in and are actually a lot more fun than they sound. Like, they're upbeat and dancey, because I had to kind of force myself to go there. And so that's basically what the book is about. It's about that time where each song is a scene in that story.
So it's a fictional story, but it's based on fact, or is it actually just a real autobiographical story?
It is going to be as autobiographical as it can be without me getting sued.
Yeah.
So,
well, you can change some names.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't have to. You don't have to give. How are we doing for time? I don't know. We're okay. All right. Warn me when we getting close to showtime. We got 2 minutes. 10 minutes. Oh, good. Great. More time than I thought. So, all of the songs. Have you? Well, first of all, you're a composer. I
Yes.
mean, you studied music, right?
I did not study music, actually.
Oh, you didn't?
I
How'd you
studied
learn how
theology.
to arrange then?
Well, it's funny. I did not have any formal training in arranging. I started arranging music when my dad bought me this synthesizer for Christmas when I was about 15. And I started making tracks so that I could perform to them. And
Wow. So you learned arranging just like on your own?
just kind of on my own, just listening to records. And my dad is a musician, and so he said, "You don't know how to arrange music." That was his lesson in arranging. You don't know how to arrange music. And he said, this was the only lesson he said, you gotta just get something and just put it in at the right moment and take it out. And that was my formal arranging training.
That's not a bad idea. Can you write it down, or you have one of the programs where you can just play it and it writes it out?
I do have a program that can score things, so I can sequence things like Logic or something like that. They'll print out a score for you.
Yeah. How do you sit down with a keyboard when you write songs, or you do it a cappella? I mean, you start out a cappella. How do you write a song? How do you start out writing?
Well, my process has changed a lot. So right now, what it looks like is this arranging thing kind of helps because I look at music as it's an art of time. And so I have a 3.5-minute canvas. And so I try to get the arc of the song like it's a story. Okay, these are the moments that are going to happen, and then I start singing things until I sing something that I like. And then I think, okay, this is a hook.
But you're thinking in terms of a 3.5-minute kind of
Yeah,
thing.
this is the arc of the story, and then the first thing I want to find is a hook. I want to find the thing that people are going to sing.
Musical hook.
Yes.
Yeah.
something that people are going to be able to sing and remember and catch themselves singing the next day.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, since we're at an ASCAP showcase here, let me ask you, Julie, the same question. You sit down with the guitar, how do you start out? Or have you changed over the years?
Yeah, I think it definitely changes. But generally, I start out with sitting down with my guitar. And it's funny that you're talking about the hook, and that's the first thing you go for. And for me, for such a long time, I fought like the hook. I wanted interesting lyrics that nobody would remember, and I wanted to get creative with it. And finally, I've given up. I'm a hook person. I love hooks. Who does? That's the best part of the song. Everybody loves a hook. So now I'm trying to be a little bit more hook savvy and start there and take it from there. What's the melody? What is the best part of the song? And then I'll fill in the story in between and kind of.
Yeah. So it's kind of music-driven, musical hook you're talking about, or is it
music
both?
And lyrical?
Yeah, both together.
Yeah.
You come that way. It's interesting. So, you guys both. I'll ask it both of you, and Julia answered first. When you write, are you thinking only of writing for Julia Haltigan and not for anybody else?
Not really, actually. These days, I'm kind of just letting the songs come out the way they come out. I think. For me, I think things are changing a little bit musically, artistically. It's coming out different than it used to, so I'm not stopping anything. I'm not directing it. I just want to see what happens, and the songs that I think fit best, my style with my band, I'll pull those and use those for our live performances.
Have you had any covers of your songs?
Have I what?
Had any covers? Anybody recorded your songs at this point?
I'm not that I know of. Actually, I saw somebody perform one at a talent show on YouTube. That was really cool.
One of your tunes?
Yeah, it was awesome. She nailed it.
That's kind of cool.
It was
really.
very cool.
Yeah, what about you, Andre? When you're writing, are you thinking of maybe this song is going to get covered by somebody, or is it just part of your whole story and part of your scene?
Usually when I'm writing, I'm just trying to express something. Something's hit me. I've seen something. I've witnessed something. I've heard a news story, and I just want to get this idea out. And I kind of think about who this could fit later on.
Yeah. Well, you had that song covered by Cliff Richards, right? But that's pretty.
Yes,
cool.
I did, and it's interesting because I wrote that song because I was angry, and I just needed to get that out.
Right.
And Nick and Val, or Ashford and Simpson, I should say. I'm sorry. They heard it by some fluke. One of their daughters actually knew the song, and then they asked me about it. So it's one of those interesting things. Like, I had no intention of anyone singing that song.
Well, since you bring up Ashford and Simpson, and I mentioned that was part of when you came to New York, you ran into them, which was a pretty big deal. You don't usually run into people like that and get to have them as mentors. How was that? Tell us a little bit about that.
I was directed to the Sugar Bar, which is the restaurant and lounge that they own, and they have an open mic night there every Thursday night, and so I just started coming to their open mic night, and their daughter, Nicole, we became friends, and she just started coming to my shows, all that kind of thing, and then, Nick and Val were there every Thursday, and so they saw me every Thursday, and Nick would always kind of mentor me in passing. He'd just walk by and be like, where's all that sexiness come from? And say things to me that kind of keep me encouraged. And next thing you know, I'm sitting down and having dinner with him and talking to Val at different points. And it just kind of developed so naturally that it's hard to say, okay, what actually happened? But I think right when they invited me to work with them on Cliff Richard's project, I was like, okay, this is official.
Well, yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Yeah, and how much time do either of you spend in studios now? I mean, you've both made several recordings. You had a lot of experience, a little bit of experience?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to just stay in the studio as much as possible. There's so many elements to creating music. There's the songwriting process, there's recording, there's working with your band. So I'm trying to just keep it all, learn as much as I can about all the different elements. So I'm staying in the studio.
And many people, and you folks may know, but a lot of folks don't realize that it's very different performing like this for a live audience or in a club, going to the studio performing. Obviously it's different when you write a song, but you have different ways of thinking about the song. And how would you describe that?
Describing the difference?
Yeah, the difference between when you're playing for a crowd and when you're recording what's in the studio, how is it different?
Well, first off, when you're doing, or when I'm doing a show, the thing that I want to think about the most is creating moments for the audience. You know, so you want to create moments that are fun and that get them involved, and moments that are touching, and you know, where you're transparent, or musical moments and letting people solo and things like that. But in the studio, it's a little bit different because you have to be more careful, first off, with how you play and how you sing. Because what's most important, I think, in the live show is the energy in the room, right? But you do something different to capture that energy on a recording, so that, because you're going to listen to it.
Yeah, it's tricky
Over
because
and
you don't have the feedback like you had here. People were cheering for you, they're getting into your music. You don't have that in the studio, so you have to somehow make it work. How often, how much do you guys perform live now? I know you have a couple of regular jobs, right?
Yeah, I would say mostly I'm pretty much at any point in the day performing live somewhere. A lot.
So you're 5-6 nights a week in New York City?
Probably 3-4 nights a week in the city, and then I play in the park a lot, in Central Park, with another band.
So it is night and day, literally.
I play all the time. Yeah.
How much have you guys traveled much outside? Have you played in D.C. before?
Never.
This is your first
I've never
tour?
played.
So most of your experience has been performing in New York City? Nothing wrong with that, but sooner or later you're going to have to get out,
Yeah.
come down to see us in West Virginia.
Absolutely.
How we doing? We getting to the end here? Oh, still got 5 minutes? Oh, cool. Yeah. This is. I didn't think we'd have this much time. Very cool. Well, what's next in your mind? Let's start with Julia. What's the next step for you? You're playing now. You got the new CD out there, which you're working yourself.
Yeah.
It's your own label, right?
Yeah.
And so
You say
you're
that.
out. You're selling it online. You're selling it at the club. You're selling it when you do gigs.
Yeah.
Are you planning? Do you have an agent? Are you planning to get on the road and get out?
I mean, you know, I think the thing with the music industry these days, or lack of, you can do it all yourself. So I've been doing it all myself, and I've been doing a few tours lately down to New Orleans and back, and I've got another one of those coming up in late April, early May.
Do you do that solo?
I've been doing it solo. Occasionally I have another band member with me or another songwriter, and we kind of play on each other's music.
Yeah. It's difficult when you're out, when you're young and you don't have a lot of money back to you. You can't take a 6-piece band on the road unless you're independently wealthy. It's a very difficult, or else they're awfully close friends, whatever, because it's too much. Oh, before I forget, the workshop you did for ASCAP, tell me about that I mentioned.
It was the Cunningham.
Yeah.
ASCAP is great because they really support the artists and try to keep a community going. And so they had this Songwriters Workshop where I think there was maybe 20 of us approximately. And we spent 2 days together going through tracks they'd have guest speakers kind of come, and there was 4 of them over 2 days. And we'd listen with them, and we'd all kind of critique each other's music. And then we had a few weeks to go re-record a new, rewrite, rework, write a new song, given the advice that we'd just gotten, and come back and show what we made, and hear feedback on that and see if we made any improvements or.
Oh, was it all 4 songwriters?
No, there was about 20.
No, but I mean the people who came to talk with you.
Oh, they just kind of came in and gave advice. They didn't come in for
Were they songwriters or were they?
Oh, yes, songwriters, producers, different
genres?
industry people, different genres, different techniques. It was interesting.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Do either one of you listen to other types of music? I mean, besides your own? You're out there listening to things that somebody might not suspect?
I want to hear everything that people are listening to, so that you learn things. There are different approaches to songwriting when you do that. So I try to listen to everything. That if someone says, hey, I listened to this dubstep artist the other day, or I was listening to this throat singing in East Asia or something like that, I want to hear it. Yeah.
Interesting. Have you done a songwriting workshop at all?
I have not done a songwriting workshop with ASCAP yet, but I have done a songwriting workshop. Do one. Yeah, I would really like to. Yeah. But I have done songwriting workshops before, actually, earlier this year, songwriting retreat in Colorado.
Oh, really?
Which was really great.
Was that a deal that anybody could go to, or were you chosen, or how did it work?
It was by this famous worship leader guy, and his manager knew me, but I didn't know him, and he invited all of his worship leader friends to his house to write songs.
Wow.
His manager pushes me the email. I'm like, am I invited to this? And he's like, no, man, just go. So I crashed their worship leaders' songwriting retreat, and they welcomed me.
It's probably pretty intense, wasn't it?
It was. They welcomed me. They loved me. And, we just wrote songs 6 hours a day.
Wow.
And it was great.
Did you come out of it with some material you're going to use, or was it just exercises that?
I came out with some stuff
fun.
I'm going to use, but even though I am a worship leader myself, I don't really do gospel music or Christian music, so I probably won't do those songs at my shows.
Yeah, you don't record or perform that
Not
so much,
really.
except for when you're in church doing it.
Yeah, you know, I did the Sacred EP, but that was just about it.
Yeah. Huh. Very interesting. So, are you planning to hit the road at any time?
Right now, I want to focus on finishing this book and this recording of this record. I want to focus all my energy there. But because I believe in this project like Marvin Gaye believed in What's Going On. So, you know, and
Okay.
after that, I want to hit the road with this.
Yeah. So, you mean after you get the book and
after I get it
the
done.
book record deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. Are you going to publish that yourself too, or do you have somebody to do that?
I don't have someone to do it now, but I'm looking to start Kickstarter so that I can
okay.
get some funds up and to find a publisher who will get
All
it
right.
done well.
Well, you heard it, and you folks heard it right there. Maybe you can help him out. And thank you so much for coming this evening. Tomorrow night, give them a hand, both of them. Andre Henry, Julia Haltigan. They'll be back here tomorrow night. With two more great talents, Andy Akiho and his quartet, and Delamay, which is a bluegrass band featuring Celia Woodsmith. Our thanks to the ASCAP Foundation, Songwriters, the new generation. Thanks to you folks. Good night.